Hi everybody. Alright, after a lot of fiddling around with the new computer, I think I've got it to a place where I can pretty much replicate all the stuff I've been doing. Had a couple of overclock issues, zapped the power a couple of times, so hoping that doesn't happen again, but we're here for now, and let's get going. As you know, my IFR Checkride's on Saturday, 8 a.m. sharp, so we've got 5 days to practice. We're going to do a lot of the same stuff we've been doing, Boeing Field, Bremerton, maybe Tacoma Narrows, and then back home. And we're just trying to be thoughtful about how we do it, so why don't we go ahead and put a couple of things together here today. Let's start by looking at the weather in the region. I'll just go anywhere that I can get the TAF discussion here, forecast discussion. So, as you can see, generally VFR to MVFR this morning with southerly flow and showers along the coast. It's 10:38 right now, so Zulu time is 17:38. So you can see that rain and MVFR is going to move inland, reaching the coast by 18 Zulu, so in about half an hour, and then past the Puget Sound by 20 to 21 Zulu, and so that's in about 2.5 hours from now. Why don't we back off for a second and just take a look and see if that's in fact happening. So if I hit my radar, oh wow, yeah, look at that. You can see yellow on the coast here, so Hoquiam right there. Aberdeen is kind of right on the coast, so that's sort of the coastline right there. And it's definitely coming inbound in the north here. This is the Olympic Mountains. You can see definite snow in the mountains. Right here, runway 2, this is Bremerton. Okay, that's where we tend to want to do our operations. Why don't we take a look at weather in Bremerton and understand what's happening there, if it wouldn't mind. Okay, so we have IFR conditions in Bremerton today. 20, so wind is runway 20, headwind 10 statute miles, and light rain, broken 7, broken 60. So 7 over the airfield there, 7 AGL, elevation 4444, so that's, let's call it 1150 MSL. So why don't we take a look and see if there's actually anything we can do at this runway today. Oh yes, looky here. You have SILS, runway 20, 642 and a half. So what we're going to do is we're going to try for an approach from the other side first. We'll try GPS runway 2 from ZOLGI, and we'll see if we can do a circling approach. And what's going to happen here is that we won't be able to, and we're going to have to go mist. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fire off the mist. We're going to swing around. We're going to then try to catch, let's see, clear that. We're then going to catch the ILS coming the other way. Starting at WUMAX. Let's see. Why don't we try ILS local runway 20 first? So KPWT ILS 20 straight in TNG mist, and then we'll pick up the KPWT RNAV 02 at ZOLGI. And we'll go mist on that. And then let's see. Now, we won't be able to do this in the real world, but I'm going to go ahead and do this at Tacoma. Tacoma 19003, right? So we'll pick up, and it's scattered at 80. So procedure RNAV 35, and what we'll do is we'll do a circling approach here because we have to do one circling approach. So circling is 980 and 1. Circling NA east of runway 1735, so that means we're going to enter left traffic for 17. Or excuse me, we're going to deflect left and enter right traffic for 17, so we're circling west of the field. So again, KTIW probably won't let you do that in the real world. It's a towered airport, but in Pilot Edge, it's not towered, so we'll just set as a CTAF, and we'll use that as a circling approach, and we'll do a full stop. KTIW RNAV 35. Face us. Right pattern. Full stop. All right, there we go. So that's the plan. KBFI will go KPWT ILS 20 straight in, touch and go mist, and then on the mist we'll be close to the point where we start coming back. RNAV 02 ZOLGI will go mist on that one. We're definitely not going to get through the clouds on that, and then pick up KTIW RNAV 35 to face ass. Circle 17 on right pattern, so we're good there. Okay, sorry, just working on something there. Alright, let's go ahead and head back to the game. And we'll deal with things in a minute.
Visibility 10. Few clouds at 4,800. Ceiling 8,000. Overcast. Temperature 8. Dew point 4. Altimeter 2981. Arriving and departing runways 14 left, 14 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches between Boeing Field and Seattle International. Expect aircraft above you on final. Heed back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Tango.
Tango, Tango. And let's get those
King
winds.
County Airport. 8 is information Tango. 1653 Zulu. Wind 130 at 6.
Oh yeah,
Visibility
perfect.
10. Few clouds at 4.
All right. Let's get rolling. We're going to pretend that we've already done our pre-flight checks. So we're all set on our pre-flight. We know we're solid, so let's go ahead and give it just a little bit. Mixture full lean, fuel pump 1, 2, 3, out, and fuel pump off. A little bit of throttle. Hold the brakes.
Clear prop.
All right, look out there, Jimmy. A little bit of throttle to catch it. All right, and oil pressure is good. All right. Nav lights on, avionics on. Plates close. KBFI 1324. And 1219 is going to be ground. Com 2 we're going to set to 1215. And we're going to want to set that to 1212. Cool. Next, barometric 2981. Okay. (2981) spinning on both of these. Okay, we're good on that. And we'll lean a little bit out. We're on the field here. We're just running nice and lean for the ground, and then we'll push rich when we're doing our run-up. So, alrighty. And we're going to expect 14 right, so we'll go ahead and set the heading for 135. Perfect. Let's get our tablet out and ready to copy clearance. 1324 is dialed. Let's be listening on COM 2 as well. Boeing clearance, Skyhawk November 6378 Mike is, oh, stand by. I didn't file. I'll file, get back to you. That's embarrassing. Uh, 6378 Mike. System 172 /G 115 KBFI KPWT cruising altitude 4,000, and we'll need an alternate. We'll make KTAW route of flight direct, multiple IFR approaches training. Why are we getting multiple keystrokes? That's very, very creepy. IFR 16 Mike system 172 115 KBFI KPWT 4000 KTAW direct. Alright, we're filed. And back to the game. Boeing clearance, good day. Skyhawk November 6378 Mike. We'll try this one more time. I'd like to pick up our IFR to Bremerton.
Number 6378 Mike, Boeing clearance, clear to the Bremerton Airport, final Nirvana 1 departure, radar vectors direct, climb via SID, departure frequency 120.4, squawk 2424.
Cleared to the Bremerton Airport, Nirvana 1 departure, radar vectors direct, climb via the SID, departure frequency 120.4, squawk 2424, 6378 Mike.
Number 6378 Mike, read back correct.
Nice. Alright, let's see. We're going to do this in reverse order. Code 2424 and Alt 2424. Squawking OK. We got 120.4 set, and let's go tablet plates. Departure Nirvana 1, top altitude 2000. So we'll dial 2000. Okay, top altitude 2000 is set. Takeoff runway 14 right, climb heading 135 to 700, then direct Nirvana on track 135. Okay, so we're probably going to ask, we're going to get 14 right here. So we'll go tablet off, COM 1, switch 1219. 1206 is going to be tower. Alright, do our taxi lights on, do before taxi, avionics switches on, yep, radios and transponder have been set, yep, ATIS alt and heading have been set and received, standby instruments, we're going to do airspeed is neutral, standby attitude indicator is erect, and barometer set for the field, altimeter set for the field, flaps retracted, yep, flaps are up, parking brakes released, test lights is required, nav on before takeoff, before taxi checks complete. Let me go ahead, punch that parking brake, sit here for a second. Boeing ground, good day. Skyhawk November 6378 Mike is at Northeast Parking, just north of A2, with information Tango, ready for departure IFR. Ready for taxi IFR.
Number 6378 Mike, Boeing ground, runway 14 right, taxi via Alpha.
14 right, taxi via Alpha, 6378 Mike. Okay, alright, so 14 right's going to be north of here, it's going to be just off to left over there.
Information hotel looking for taxi, please.
So go ahead and get going.
Speedbird 46 Albuquerque ground, runway 8, taxi via Charlie Alpha.
Runway 8, Charlie Alpha, Speedbird 46.
And we're just testing our brakes. Brakes look good. And we're going to do our IFR cockpit check. So as we do a right with the rudder here, we're going to see the rate of turn indicator go to the right. We're going to see the ball slip to the left. The HSI is going to indicate a turn, and the attitude indicator does not indicate a turn. Good. IFR cockpit check is complete. And we're going to do ourselves a run up here. Magnetic compass is keeping pace as well. You can see that up at the top. I'll pull forward here and pick up the second slot here in this run-up box. It's a fairly extensive run-up box. A lot of jets take off from 14 right, so they need a little bit of room. Not that jets do run-ups in the box. Charles, what are you talking about? All right. We're going to go ahead and put RPMs up to 1100 here, or 1000 here, and keep it nice and lean while we're doing this pre-run-up stuff here. Make sure seatbelts are fastened. We're going to have these doors closed and locked, windows closed and locked. We're going to do our controls test, so it's going to be full left deflection. You can see those ailerons move, full aft deflection. Okay, you got all that. You got the elevator moving. We're going to do a full right deflection with the elevator out. Make sure we're not banging our knees here. Full forward deflection, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and even those ailerons out. Boom. That looks good, and we're going to let those go. Let's wiggle the rudders. Looking for the rudder back there. Yep, wiggles the rudders. Controls free and correct. Alright, we're going to do Florida door checks. Tanks both. Fuel shutoff is in. Mixture is lean. We'll enrich that in a minute. We're going to check our electric trim. Set to takeoff. Okay, electric trim is responding correctly. We're going to go ahead and pop the yoke in. We can also turn our AP on. AP. I don't know why those buttons don't work no more, but they don't. Autopilot and heading mode, and it's responding, and we can turn it off with the AP button, and we'll turn it on again, and we can turn it off with this button, and AP has been tested, and electric trim has been tested. Alright, we'll turn that yoke off. Let's go ahead and push full rich on the mixture, and 1800. Okay, looking pretty healthy. And left mag. And it's a drop of 120. Right mag. Drop of 120. Less than 150 is good, and less than 50 difference between them is acceptable. And both, and we're back up and running again, 1800. Now let's bring it back to a nice comfy idle. No coughing, no sputtering. I don't know why there's people talking. That's my FS realistic. And I'm like, dude, there's actually nobody. There we go. I don't want no cabin ambiance in my FS realistic. I'm such a purist. Stereo cockpit, please. Alright, and as we bring the RPMs back up to 1000, we got positive amps, battery is charging. The idle sounded really good, no coughing, no sputtering, etc. No enunciators around. Fuel flow, pressure, temperature are good. EGT vac is good. Plenty of fuel. We've already done our Florida door. Let's go ahead and check our checklist here.
Ready,
Parking brake, passenger seat back, seatbelts, cabin doors, flight controls, elevator trim, electric trim, autopilot test. We've done that. Fuel quantity, selector valves checked. Mixture, throttle, magnetos. We did that. Enunciators. Oh, let's go ahead and pull the mixture down a little bit just to lean it out while we're sitting here on the ground. We'll be burning up our crudding up our spark plugs. Throttle, friction lock. ComNav frequencies are set. So we've got 121 ground, 1206 is the tower, 1215 is guard, 1212 is AWOS at Bremerton. And then we're going to change to 120.4 when we call the tower. FMS, GPS, CDI. So this is where we're going to do our flight plan.
Speedbird 46, can you hear me now?
Flight plan.
You're a little better, but you still kind of sound like you're talking through a can of soup. Runway 8, cleared for takeoff.
Can of soup.
Runway 8, clear for takeoff. Apologies, Speedbird 46.
Alright, KBFI. And runway 14 right. Okay, cool. And the destination is K. P. W. T. And we know we want runway 20 the first time around, so that's good. And en route, we are going to be given direct, so we don't have any en route. Procedure, select departure. Departure is going to be the Nirvana 1. And we'll check that with our plate real quick and make sure that we know that looks right. Takeoff runway 14 right, climb heading 135 to 700. Yep, that checks out. Then direct Nirvana. Yep, that checks out. Then 135 for manual sequencing. Radar vectors. Expect clearance within 3 minutes after departure. We're climbing via the SID. And then we'll get an altitude after that. And then we might as well plug our proc for KPWT. We know what we want. We'll plug WUMOX and approach into Bremerton. Barrow minimum 642, so we'll call that 650. There we go. WUMOX, procedure turn, Quifum, then back to WUMOX, and the missed approach point, runway 20, intercept, and hold at Caro. Yep, that's the one. That's the chap, that's the chap. Alright. That looks good. Let me go ahead and turn that tablet off real quick. Alright, we got our flight plan loaded, and we're on pink needles, or magenta needles, that's good. Autopilot off, transponder set, lights required, parking brakes released, good. We are, before takeoff checks are complete, so let's go ahead.
Speedbird 46, verify your transponder set 1434.
Comms 121206. Let's go ahead.
1434, Speedbird 46.
Pop this.
Speedbird 46, thank you. Contact Albuquerque departure.
Full departure now, Speedbird 46, thank you.
Let's not go clip the grass, okay?
Albuquerque departure, Speedbird 46, 9,000 via the SID.
Speedbird 46, Albuquerque departure out of contact.
And here's 14
Approaching
right.
runway 14 right.
Go ahead. Hold up here and get ready to call. There is actually traffic out there. Maybe you can see them. Huh, go figure. Alright, let's go ahead and bring that RPM up. Boeing Tower, Skyhawk November 6378, Mike 14 right at Alpha 1, ready for takeoff, IFR.
November 6378, Mike Boeing Tower, runway 14 right, cleared for takeoff, wind 1406.
14 right, cleared for takeoff, 6378 Mike. Yahoo! Let's go. Lights, camera, squawking 2424 alt, action, mixture full rich, taking runway 14 right. Alright, takeoff brief. We're going to take off runway 14.
Approaching runway 14 right.
And flying the Nirvana 1 departure.
Entered runway 14 right.
Be quiet. We need 2360 RPM to take off. We need to be off at 1,300 feet, so we should be able to take off and be off by Alpha 4, no later than Alpha 4. If we're not off by Alpha 4, we're going to cut the throttles and abort the takeoff. We can't make 2360, we're going to abort the takeoff. If we lose the engine on takeoff, we're going to go ahead and go straight forward for the railroad tracks. Alright. Let's get rolling. Takeoff power set. Engine instruments are in the green. Fuel flow is 2 ticks above green. Oil pressure's in the green.
Speedbird 46, Albuquerque Center. Hello, you were cut off at the altitude, say current altitude, and
looking for 55. Alright, 55. Rotate for 10 degrees.
Speedbird 46, thank you. Climb and maintain flight level 340.
Alright, we have 10 degrees. And taking a little pressure off the yoke here.
Speedbird 46, if you're able, maybe pull the microphone just a little bit closer. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
And on COM 1, I want 120.4. I should have dialed that before. I failed to do so.
About the same, actually.
Okay, 120.4 is set. And we're going to climb a little bit faster. We're going to climb for 74 knots.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the microphone. But either way, it's fine.
And climb for 700 feet, then direct Nirvana. So, runway heading till 700
Number
feet.
6378, Mike, contact departure.
Contact departure, 6378 Mike. Alright, there's direct Nirvana. I'll go ahead and activate nav mode, IAS climb, and AP, and we're on our way. Let's go ahead and call departure. Seattle departure, Skyhawk 6378 Mike, 1,000 feet, climbing via the SID.
Number 6378 Mike, Seattle departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 4,000, and I can take your approach request to Bremerton.
Roger, climb, maintain 4,000, and we'll get the weather at Bremerton and get back to you with approach request, 6378 Mike.
Roger.
Alright, we'll climb for 4,000. Cool, 4,000 is set. We're on our way up. Let's do our climb checks. En route climb airspeed 70 to 85 knots. Yep, we're at a good 74. Throttle is full. Mixture rich is required, and we'll be sure to lean it above 3,000. So we'll keep an eye on that altitude as we go on up. Meantime, we're going to go ahead and dial AWOS at Bremerton 121.2. And information. COM2 switch 121.2. Alright, let me go ahead and show you what we got here. 160 at 5, visibility 10, sky conditions 16 scattered, ceiling 44 overcast, 7, 10C, altimeter 2, 7, 9. I'll be sure that's absolutely true for Bremerton. That is not what I recall when I was looking on my map. Oh, it looks like it got better. Scattered 7, scattered 80. All of a sudden, it's fantastic weather over there. Okay, whatever. But that's good news. We got no problems now. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch things. No, I'm not gonna switch things up. I'm gonna go ahead and do the ILS. I'm gonna ask for the ILS runway 20 starting at WUMOX. And maybe a little right rudder there, eh? How about that, eh, boss? Seattle departure, Skyhawk, number 6378 Mike. We've got the weather at Bremerton, and we're ready with approach request.
Number 78 Mike, go ahead.
78 Mike, we'd like the ILS runway 20 to Bremerton starting at WUMOX. This will terminate with a missed approach, and we'll be picking up the RNAV back the other way after that.
Number 6378 Mike, clear direct WUMOX, cross WUMOX at 4,000, clear ILS runway 20 approach.
Cleared direct WUMOX, cross WUMOX at 4,000, cleared the ILS 20 approach into Bremerton, 6378 Mike. Okay, a few things we're going to do here. Proc, we're going to change our approach, select approach. No, we're not.
PFA 388, contact at Oakland Center 132.905.
We're going to hit activate approach, and it's going to take us direct WUMOX. Just like that, boom. Clear direct WUMOX, off we go. Let's go ahead and press FPL, make sure we get our flight plan back. Okay, WUMOX, then the procedure turn at WUMOX, Quifum, which is that computer waypoint. Let's go ahead and show you the plate so you can see what we're talking about here. So, WUMOX, right here where the this is, we're going to cross that at 4,000, and then it's going to be a right turn outbound, and then it's procedure turn outbound, left turn to 332, then back in 152.
PFA 388, Oakland Center, cross EWOX at level 240.
Back on 197 to cross WUMOX back in, so that's going to be the final approach fix 2,500, and then we're going to pick up the glide slope there and fly it all the way down to 642, which is I've got set as 650. Okay, that's 4,000. You can hear we hit the top of our climb. Why don't we aviate, navigate, communicate? So let's go ahead and turn the tablet off for a sec, get back to the airplane.
70 Delta, roger.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring our RPMs back to 2400, pitch, power, and trims. For pitching to stay at 4,000. Power, 2400, good. That's the power setting that we want. Got a TAS of 112. And trim, we're trimmed out. The autopilot's got a hold of that, so let's go ahead and do a few other things we need to do. We're going to lean out. That's one thing we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and pull the mixture back like that. And watching that EGT come up, watching the RPMs a little bit.
PSA 388 affirmative. EWOX at level 240.
There you go, fuel flow 7.5. Okay, good. We're leaned out. And now what else do we need to do? We got some other work to do here. We're going to finish briefing our plates. Is there any buttons that we have to press that we're not pressing yet? Well, first things first, let's get the range set the way we want. We can see some weather there. I'm also going to go map options relative terrain. That's important to do. Okay, I'll press back on that.
Seabird 46, contact Denver Center 127.02.
Okay, keep that RPM nice and steady. And the next thing we want to do, what else do we need to do? We need to set our baro 2979. So click that. 2979 is set on the G1000, and we'll do 2 clicks there, and it's set in the backup. Okay, we're all set. We got baro set. We've got the weather. Let's go ahead and sync our heading bug, right? That's a good thing to do, right, Charles? 23 knots crosswind coming from the south right now. Oop, what else is going on? Look, we're in IMC conditions. What do we need? We need pitot heat. Click, we're on. Outside air temperature is -1. We're going to watch for icing. So far, no liquid precipitation. All right, negative icing. All right, we're doing okay, but there's a lot going on. A lot going on, right? Okay. Now we're 14 miles from Wumox, which is the initial approach fix. Look at this incredible, like, I don't know how we're making this kind of true airspeed with this kind of RPM, but we are absolutely just crashing through the skies today.
Seabird 46 at Denver Center, 127.02.
Wahoo! Well, let's slow it down. Let's keep our TAS. Let's be a little bit thoughtful about that. There's just a wicked wind up here. That's all I can tell you. All right. Anyway, 5 miles from Wumox, we'll go ahead and set for 90.
Hello again. I think you already checked in.
I'm sorry. I love the Concorde, but the Speedbird guy is driving me absolutely insane. He's just driving me nuts. Alright, so 12305 is going to be Bremerton CTAF, so why don't we dial the comms and get the comms ready. 12305 is good, and comm 2 we're going to switch to guard and listen to guard again.
PSA 388, sorry, cross Red Bluff at level 240.
Okay, comms are set. Baro is set. Nav is set. We're briefing the procedure. So let's get back to briefing the procedure. Oh, see, look at what they did there. They kill our minimums. Happens all the time. 650. There we go. Okay, now we're more like a TAS of 115. All right, everybody. Let's make sure the engine's healthy. Fuel flow's good. Pressure, temperature, EGT vac are good. Plenty of fuel. Amps are charging, feeling pretty good. What do you see? There's a few things out here. There's something. Okay, still good. Negative icing. Outside air temperature is -1.
Paint Tower, good morning. Beaver 117 Foxtrot, 7 miles northeast.
Looking for
a Delta transition
weather.
south on the east side of the airport.
Number 1117 Foxtrot, Payne Tower, east to west transition approved, overfly the field, Payne altimeter 2907.
All right, let's keep briefing.
And Beaver 1117 Foxtrot.
Okay,
for a southbound
so the plate,
transition
make
on
sure the
east
plate's doing what we want it to
side of
do.
your-
So Wumox
Okay,
right turn, then outbound left
southbound transition
for
approved,
procedure
Payne
turn.
altimeter 2979.
So we're going to cross Wumox at 4,000. Once we cross outbound on 017, we can
0.79er
descend to
eastbound transition approved,
3,500.
Beaver 17 Foxtrot.
Then, when we're back in, actually, excuse me, when we head outbound at 017, we can descend to 3,000 when we're heading out. 3,000 when we're heading out. Then once we're back into the final approach course, we can descend down to 2,500 on our way back in to cross the final approach fix. Whoa, all of a sudden, we are flying really slow. But, you know what? Fine. Because we're going to hit the initial approach fix in a minute. We want to be flying at 90 knots anyway, so wasn't that just fantastically coincident? Anyway, back at 2,500. Now, when we turn back inbound on heading 152, that's when I'll switch the CDI to fly Green Needles, and that's when we'll intercept the Localizer on our final approach course of 197. This wind is ridiculous. I'm trying to hold the this airspeed, and it's just being such a pain. Anyway, once we cross 2,500, we'll intercept the glide slope, and we'll bring it down on Green Needles, flying glide slope and Localizer to 642 minimums. We'll call that 650 minimums. If we see the runway at that point, we'll do a touch and go. If we don't see the runway, we'll go missed. Either way, we'll be flying runway heading, climb to 4,000 on heading 197 at the intercept point on the OLM 346 to Caro and hold at Caro. So what we'll do is, to help ourselves out, we'll switch. We'll do 1134, that's the Olympia VOR, and we'll prep that so we have that ready to go. PFD options, let's see, bearing 2, that's the pointer to nav to OLM, so now we know it. And the intercept point's the radial 346, which is actually 166 bearing. There we go. Okay, we briefed the approach and we briefed the mist. We're flying 90 knots. We're 4.6 from WUMOX. We've talked about the plate, P. We want to do identify. We want to make sure that we can identify IPWT. Yep, that's the correct localizer. And we have OLM and NAV2, which is awesome because that's how we're going to identify the mist point. PIC, C, what are the CDI needles doing? We already talked about that. We're going to stay magenta until we're back inbound 152 on the procedure turn coming back in. At that point we go green needles to intercept the localizer. We fly green needles all the way in, and we will fly green needles on the mist. And that's an important point. We will fly green needles on the mist, which is why it's really important to have that course that we can intercept. So we're not flying magenta needles on the mist approach. So this is a little bit more of a challenge, but we'll do it. Next, autopilot A. When are we using autopilot and when are we not using autopilot? I'm going to use autopilot for the whole approach. If we, all the way down to minimums. If we're at minimums, I'll go ahead and take it manual. I'll do a touch and go. I'll land it. I'll take off. And then once we're above 700 feet AGL on the mist approach, I'll go ahead and reactivate the autopilot and have and work the autopilot for the mist. All right. 2 miles to the final approach fix at WUMOX. We've PICA. We've done our plate identified CDI on autopilot. Let's do our before landing checks while we have a second. So we're going to do a Florida door sweep. So it's going to be, all right, both tanks, fuel shutoff is in, mixture is lean. We're going to enrich it as we come down. Flaps are up. Lights are as required for landing. Master and standby are armed. Keys are in both. Plenty of fuel. Seatbelts fastened. Batteries are charging. And let's make sure that we got everything else right. We're doing a right turn at WUMOX. That's good. Before landing, seats and seat belts, fuel selector valve, mixture, autopilot off, and lights is required. So we'll turn autopilot off when we hit minimums if we're going for the touch and go. And flaps are going to stay up until we hit the final approach fix. WUMOX back inbound. Once we hit WUMOX inbound, we'll go flaps 10. All right, we're turning right for the procedure turn. Expect outbound reciprocal of 197, which is going to be 367. No, yeah, 007. No, 017. Charles, wake up. Minus 180, 017. All right. And we got altimeter set, Barrow 29er 79er. All right, so as we've crossed this, we can now come down to 3,500, so I'll go ahead and set that, 3,500, and we'll click vertical speed mode and set that for minus 600, so down we come. We've set our RPMs for 1,900, or lower. We're just trying to keep that 90 knots, so down we come now, 3,500, and 017 outbound, we actually come down to 3,000. We can come all the way down to 3,000 now. We're cleared for the approach, so we can follow these altitude instructions for these segments. All right, down we come. Proc turn now in 4 miles. We've done our before landing checks. We briefed the plates. We're good there. Let's make sure our frequencies are set. 1204, 12305 is a CTAF. We're monitoring guard, so that's good. what do we want to tell people, right? Let's take a look at our plate. So what do we want to tell them? So
Southwest 296 Albuquerque Center, descend by the Hyder 1 arrival, runway 7 right,
is
transition Phoenix,
6
altimeter
north of the
29er,
field. So 6.3 north of the field. So we'll make our call at the final approach fix and let people know that we're 6 north on a straight in approach, runway 2. Touch and go, departing to the south. That's what I'll say. All right. Coming down to 3,000, starting to get some precipitation here. Let's take a look. Outside air temperature is 0 degrees, so it's freezing. But right now we got negative icing. All right, left turn for the procedure turn. Go ahead and range in a little bit. Okay, speed's coming down too much because we're at 3,000 now. That's why. And when we turn back in at 197, when we turn back in, we're on final approach course 197, we can descend to 2,500. So I'll go ahead and pre-bug that. 2,500 is bugged, ready to go. We're going outbound, and as I mentioned, once we're turned, reciprocal heading, once we turn to 152, as we finish the procedure turn, I'll swap to green needles. So what I'll do is I'll set our heading 152. Okay, here comes right turn. And as we're making this turn, you can see a little bit out there. Nice. Trying to keep 90 knots. Okay. Final approach course is 90 degrees off our... That's not true. I'll go ahead and hit heading mode now. And we'll go ahead and hit FMS1 CDI. Back. There you go. And we'll hit approach mode. There, very nice. So now we're going to intercept the localizer. Localizer mode is engaged. It's now chasing the localizer needle. It's changing the deflection so it can pick up the localizer properly. I wish it weren't so squirrely about this, but it is. So here comes the localizer, CDI. We can't come down to 2,500 until we're established on the final approach course. That hasn't happened yet. Once we're on the localizer, we can come on down. Okay, very nice. You see speed's creeping up to 90. That's good. Back the throttle off just a little bit. Just trying to hold 90 knots. 3,000 feet. Alright, CDI needle is swinging in. This computer nav point, QFM, that's in 0.3 nautical miles. Once we cross that, we'll be on our way to Mox, the final approach fix. And once we're established on this localizer final approach course of 19er, it says 19er8. Shouldn't it be 19er7, don't you think? I think so.
November 6378 Mike, report missed approach on this frequency. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Change to advisory approved. We'll report back with you on the mist. 6378 Mike.
PSA 3D8 contact NorCal approach 127.4.
Come 123. All right, we're 5 miles from Wumox, and 5 plus 6 is 11 miles. So we'll call it north. There we go. And 12305, yep, that matches on the plate. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 6378 Mike's 11 north of the field on a straight in, runway 20, touch and go, Bremerton. Alright, let's keep that speed. Alright, we're on the final approach course, so we'll go ahead and hit vertical speed mode, and we'll dial it down, 600. And bring that RPM down. As we come down through 3,000, we're going to go ahead and push the mixture full rich. Okay, good. We're full rich on the mixture. Let's keep our speed reasonable. Don't want to be over speeding here. 2,500 is the target altitude. We want to be at 2,500 before we hit the final approach fix. Alright, let's talk about the final approach fix check. That's the 3 M's. It's minimums. What are our minimums? M, what's the missed approach point? When do we make our decision? And then flying the mist, what's the first thing we do? First altitude, first waypoint that we're going for. So minimums are going to be 650. Those are set. We're going to fly the glide slope all the way down to minimums. That's the decision altitude. So if we hit 650, we don't see the runway, we're not in a position to land, we'll fly a mist right away. If we do see the runway, we'll continue, and I'll take it off autopilot. The missed approach point is, in fact, that decision altitude. Definitely a lot of precipitation here. We're now 2 degrees Celsius, so I think we're in good shape. No icing. Negative icing. Alright, 2,500. Bringing that RPM up now. 3 miles to the final approach fix. And then the instructions are climb 4,000 on heading 197. On heading 197. And the Ulm Vortec R346, which is the intercept point. So what we do there is we would fly heading 197 until this read 166. Right, 166. Or we're on the 346 radial, which we can try with the nav2 CDI once we fly the missed approach, and then that'll be a left turn 166 to hold at Caro, which is OLM 19.4. Try a green needle hold. It's going to be a little bit tricky. You can see here, Caro is in fact an intersection between, oh, you can't see here because I'm not showing you my tablet here. Okay, we have 1.8 miles to the final approach fix. Let's slow down a little bit. Okay, as you can see here, Caro is the intersection of two. It's an intersection of the Olympia VOR and the Seattle VOR. Did I say that right? I did. The Olympia VOR is coming this way, and the Seattle VOR is coming this way. It's on the R230 from Seattle and on the R346 from Olympia, and it's at 19.4. So we'll try to we'll fly that using green needles. It'll be a little bit of a challenge, but I'd like to do it. Okay, we're going a little fast here, so let's slow it down. 1 mile to the final approach fix. Glide slope is live. Approach mode is armed. We're on the localizer with the autopilot, and glide slope is ready for intercept. Once we cross the final approach fix, we're going to go flaps 10, fly it on down. Alright, we've done our 3 M's. Minimum 650, and we have to clear half a mile statute visibility to be able to land. Half a mile statute visibility, so we're going to have to be able to see 3,000 feet, and the runway is 6,000, so we can see halfway down the runway. We know we've got minimums. The missed approach point is that decision altitude is 650. We'll go missed, or we'll fly the touch and go. No in between on that. Okay, there's the final approach fix. Go in flaps 10, and we'll make a radio call. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 6378 Mike is 6 miles north of the field and a straight in runway 20 touch and go departing to the south, Bremerton. Alright, let's go. Slow that RPM down. I am seriously at idle. These are really, really gusty winds. Okay, we're going to go ahead and push that a little bit more. Okay, 86. Okay, speed's coming up. Okay, 2,000 feet. We've got another 1,350 to go. 4.5 miles to the runway. Yeah, we have to really work these gusts. This is serious. 9-knot crosswind, 21-knot headwind. You can see some rougher weather approaching here. If you take a look and you look at this, you can see that it's getting a little bit darker in this area. We've got some yellow coming in.
3 mile final runway 20.
Turn the radar off. Keep this for terrain clearance only. Okay, there's a big old hill's going to be off of our right here. Can we see it? Yeah, we can. Yuck, nasty. Also, runway in sight. That's great. That's very good. You can see us getting blown around. It's pretty serious. All right. Look good, 900 feet to go. I've got the entire runway. I've got the full 6,000 feet of it. I got the precision approach system. I've got edge lights. I've got threshold. I've got paint. I've got everything. So that's great. Going fast again. Okay, the headwind and the crosswind are both slacking off a little bit, so that's good news. And you can see we got a beacon at daytime, which indicates that conditions are under your standard VFR of 2,003 standard miles, I think. 3 statute miles, I think. Permanent traffic, Skyhawk 6378 mites on a 2-mile final, runway 20, touch and go, departing to the south, Bremerton. Alright, so we are going to do a touch and go. Flying all the way down to minimums, and then I'll kill the autopilot. Fly it the rest of the way down. Down to 650 is not too bad. 500. Ground speed of 90 knots. Okay, 100 feet to go. Kick in a little bit of left rudder here. Try to stabilize it out. Whoop. We started flying it too slow. Minimums. I've got it. I've got the plane. Flaps 3. Push through. Trying to keep it stable. Going for the 1,000 footers. Okay, we're over the threshold. Cut the engine to idle. Look beyond the runway. Center up your center line. Flaps up. 1, 2, 3. Full power. They're clapping. I love it. 55 knots. Rotate 10 degrees. Kick in that left rudder a little bit. Climb for 74 knots. Climb out. Permanent traffic. Cessna 6378 Mike on the go. Runway 20, departing to the south, Bremerton. Alright, we're going to hit suspend. And we're going to sink the heading bug 197. And we, that's elevation 444. Once we're above 1200, I'll set the autopilot. We'll go into heading mode. So we'll go heading, IAS, and we'll dial, we'll do comms in a minute. Cram, climb, clean, click, comms. There's 1200. AP is on. I'm going to go ahead and set CDI to VOR2 and course 2. And we're looking for R346. there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and call in. Seattle departure, Skyhawk 6378 Mike, 1,800 feet, climbing 4,000 on the mist from Bremerton.
Number 6378 Mike, Seattle departure, ident.
Ident, 6378 Mike.
November 6378 Mike, radar contact 25 miles northwest of the McCord TAC and say intentions.
6378 Mike would like the RNAV runway 02 back into Bremerton starting at ZOLGI.
Roger, and you want that, I assume now?
6378 Mike, Roger, we'd like to take the approach now.
November 6378 Mike, clear back to ZOLGI, cross ZOLGI at 4,000, clear RNAV Zulu, runway 2 approach.
Clear direct ZOLGI, cross ZOLGI at 4,000, cleared the RNAV 02 into Bremerton, 6378 Mike. Alright, I should have said something about the hold, and I didn't, so I just decided to make his life a little bit easier.
Capital Tower, runway 17,
So
right?
let's just go ahead and do this now. So what we know is that we're actually clear direct ZOLGI now, so why don't I hit flight plan, and we know, oh no, ZOLGI is not that same, okay. Nope, proc, select approach, enter, RNAV 02, starting at ZOLGI, okay, Barrow, set to, we'll do circling minimums 1160,
Speedbird 46, contact,
enter, activate, and we'll hit CDI, direct ZOLGI, and nav mode. Okay, we are now proceeding direct ZOLGI, and the procedure has been loaded. And we're crossing at 4,000, which is our climb altitude. Let's go ahead and do our climb checks. Enroute climb airspeed 70 to 85. Yep, it's 75. Throttle full, mixture lean is required. We're above 3,000, so we're going to lean it out a little bit. We'll finish the lean once we're at 4,000 feet.
Speedbird 46, Denver Center descent, pilot's discretion, maintain 14,000, Eagle altimeter 3007.
And up we go.
Speedbird 46, I'm getting every maybe other syllable you're saying. Make sure you're holding down your push to talk firmly, speaking firmly and clearly. Descend pilot's discretion, maintain 14,000. The Eagle altimeter is 3007.
Okay, we're going to be coming out to 4,000 here. Going to level off 4,000. And as we do that, we're watching those RPMs come up. So pitch.
I think that was much better actually.
Pitch, power, and trim. So bring that power back to 2,400. All right, and we'll finish our lean. Yeah, lean at 8.9. Bring those throttles back. All right, good. We're leaned out.
296, contact Phoenix Tower 120.9.
Direct ZOLGI 9.9.
20.9, Southwest 296.
All right, let's see what else we need here. We're going to the same airport, so we know comms are the same. 123050. Let's go ahead and get the weather again. See if it's changed. It probably has somewhat. It's pretty dynamic over there.
3-star Southwest 296 ILS, set right.
Southwest 296, Phoenix Tower, runway 7 right, clear to land, wind
10 plus heavy rain, sky conditions
runway 7 right,
few,
Southwest
16, overcast 44, temperature 6, 2.10, altimeter 2978. Okay, yeah, altimeter is dropping a little bit. I still want to get the winds if I can. to 165 at 4. Visibility 10 and heavy rain. Okay. So just a slight change to the Barrow, 2978. So we'll just click that once. Okay, we're all set on the Barrow. Comms are set. And we'll hit COM2, switch back to guard. COM1, we're on with departure, so we're good there. ZOLGI is going to be the initial approach fix. We'll go ahead and slow down. Once we're 5 miles from ZOLGI, we'll slow down to 90 knots, and we'll fly the course reversal. So let's go ahead and brief this approach, shall we? All right, cross ZOLGI at 4,000, and we're going to fly a teardrop right through here, left turn back in, 053. And we can't go any lower than 4,000 until we're back ZOLGI inbound, and then once we cross ZOLGI back inbound, we descend 2100 and turn 010 and intercept final approach fix at CBOD at 2100 feet, and we're going to be flying to circling minimums, which are 1,160 with 1 statute mile visibility. We know we have that. We saw that for ourselves.
To the parking via Alpha Yankee monitor ground.
And we're going to deflect to the right to enter left traffic runway 20.
Speedbird 46, Eagle information, uniform current, advise current with uniform, expect to be visual approach runway 25, but the LDA is available from Kremling if you want as well. Speedbird 46, roger, turn right heading 080 vectors for the visual.
All right, let's do ourselves a fuel. Let's do ourselves a fuel check here. We've got
Skywest 4263 is the release for departure. Clearance is
like 44 gallons. Let's check our totalizer.
From now, the time 183 is the change to advisory frequency.
4.6. Yeah, 44 gallons remaining.
We'll call you back for Skywest 4263.
Good deal. We burned 10 an hour, so we got 4 hours left to go. And at this point, flight plan bloop shows us. Let's see, ETA 322. Click that. Well, the view menu doesn't work in here. I can't show cumulative, but it's about 20 miles. So we've got 20 miles to fly. We're going to fly it at 90 knots. We can get that done. What is that, a quarter of the time, quarter of an hour, 25 minutes? 25 minutes, we're going to burn about... That's 5 gallons. 5 gallons, 44 leaves us 39 gallons left, which is a little under 4 hours to go. So that's good. Let's call it 3.5 hours of fuel when we land there. So plenty of fuel to continue. After this, we can spin a lap in the hold. Maybe we should do that so we can make sure that we do our holding procedures. And when we come down, we're also going to hand fly this. So let's talk about that part. So P, plate, we briefed the plate. I, we have IPWT and OLM. Let's be sure that's absolutely correct. We don't need IPWT. That's not helpful for us right now. Why don't we set nav 1 to 116.8. That's Seattle. PFD option bearing 1. There we go. Nav 1 and Nav 2. So that's good because we don't need the localizer.
Turn right heading 170.
And you can see we're down to 90 knots. Did that.
Southwest 296, cross runway 7 left at Foxtrot 9, Phoenix ground 132.5.
Alright, so again, ZOLGI, then hold, then CBOD, then the missed approach point, so that's correct. Now, let's talk about how we're going to do the missed. That's important here. So we're going to deflect, we're going to circle, we're going to deflect left, we're going to enter, deflect right, we're going to enter left traffic. Once we land, we're going to just climb out, straight over the runway, because that's the safest way to do it, and then direct ZOLGI, 4,000, direct ZOLGI, and then climb and hold the 4,000. We'll hold at ZOLGI, and then we'll call for Boeing field.
Delta 10.
Southwest 296, Phoenix ground, taxi to ramp via Echo Delta 10.
To the ramp, Echo Delta 10.
Cool, so let's go ahead and do our Florida door checks. Excuse me. Alright, fuel selector's on both. Fuel valve, fuel shutoff is pushed in. Mixture is lean, but we'll rich it when we descend past past ZOLGI. Flaps are up. Lights are as required. Master and standby are on. Keys are in both. Plenty of fuel. Battery is charging. Seatbelts fastened, and let's make sure we didn't get missing anything on our before landing check. Seatbelt, fuel selector valve, mixture, autopilot is off. We're going to go ahead and let's talk about autopilot. We're going to hand fly this after ZOLGI on our way down to CBOT. I'm going to go ahead and fail the PFD, and I'm going to fail the autopilot. I will hand fly this approach, including everything up to and including the missed approach until I'm on the climb out to ZOLGI. At some point along the climb out to ZOLGI, I'll go ahead and turn everything back on, but this is a hand fly as soon as we cross ZOLGI in and are on the descent. Okay, so that's set there. Trying to increase my workload and stay with it. What do we have here? We have some precipitation coming right at us. So OAT -1. Check our airframe. Negative icing. That's good. No icing yet. We're going to keep an eye on it. 25 knot headwind coming this way. So ground speed is 70 knots. It's kind of rough. Okay, so we're now entering the teardrop course reversal. This is the hold in lieu of procedure turn. So we're going to be heading this way, and it's going to be a right turn to get back on the inbound heading of 053 to cross ZOLGI inbound as the intermediate fix back in. Okay, let's go ahead and slow that RPM down. We're just getting a whole lot of wackiness with the air speeds because the wind is gusting up so bad. So I just want to keep a constant eye here. Let's go ahead and make sure that our
46 with the visual approach runway 25.
Let's make sure that our barrows are set correctly. Barrows set 1160. Yep, that looks right. Those are our circling minimums. So we're going to go ahead and use 1200. We're going to bug 1200 to do that on our altimeter bug. So it gives us a nice healthy margin that we can buffer into. We don't ever want to blow minimums. Why don't we go ahead and zoom out a little bit, and let's reactivate the radar and look at how things are changing here. We'll see we're in a yellow sector, so that might explain some of this wind wackiness. Now at the actual airport, it's gotten considerably better, so go figure, huh?
Eagle Tower, hello, Speedbird 46, visual 25.
Speedbird 46, Eagle Tower, runway 25 for the land wind calm.
Alright, we'll go ahead and turn that radar off. And we'll zoom it back in.
4263, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77.
Alright, we're flying a little fast. We'll go ahead and bring that back down to 90 knots.
Cruise 4263, Salt Lake Center, Clement, maintain flight level 390.
Oh no, there goes the PFD. Ah, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna change it to reversionary mode. I'm gonna fly it looking like that. That's really hideous. I wonder what it looks like to all y'all. Can you see it? Yeah, it looks just annoying enough, right? It looks just annoying enough, and your view is skewed, and it's not a lot of fun, and now you lost your autopilot. So, all right, I'm flying this myself now, and I'm also going to lose my flight director because it's just, you know, it's not fair to do it that way. All right, so we're basic attitude instrument flying. Go ahead and set 2100. We know we can descend, so that's good. 2100. And left turn now. We want to get on that left turn. We're going to bring our RPMs down. Going to push for 2.5 degree down angle. Lower those RPMs. Okay. There's a good deflection angle. Okay, CDI is swinging back in. Alright. Okay, make sure that diamond is right where it needs to be, and also I'm going to set my heading bug right there. Something easy, something that I can actually reference, something I can look at. Because right now, there's so much...
November 6378 Mike, report cancellation of IFR or missed approach in the air on this frequency or on the ground on 122.2, change to advisory frequency approved.
Change to advisory approved. We'll see you on the mist, 6378 Mike. Oh man. Alright. And we're 6.5 miles from Seabod, and Seabod's 5, so we're 11 south of the field. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 6378 Mike is 11 south of the field. We're on the straight-in runway 2. We'll break that off and enter left traffic for runway 20, Bremerton. Alright, coming down now. We have 800 feet to go. We have a pretty advanced descent rate. It's not quite what I wanted. There we go, 700 feet to go. Otherwise, though, actually pretty good in terms of kind of even descent rate. Not too bad. Just flying this profile all the way down. Seabod's a final approach fix. 5 miles to go. 400 feet to go. $300 feet. A little bit left for lineup, so I'm keeping my deflection over just a degree or two. And the final approach fix is 5 from the field, so we'll use that when we call in. And again, just a little bit left for lineup there. Okay, 100 feet to go. And we'll go ahead and even out. And just set ourselves real nice and easy at 2100 there. And right for lineup. 3 miles to the final approach fix. Trying to fly that 90. Make sure our mixture's full rich. We're through 3000. Deflecting over to the right. Oh, don't let yourself slip now. Okay, trying to keep the 2100, and we'll bring the heading back to 017 and center right there. Center right there. 1.5 miles to the final approach fix. Flying 90, staying nice and stable. Still in that reversionary mode. Once we hit the final approach fix, we'll go flaps 10 and we'll descend all the way down to our minimums, which are set it for 1200. Half a mile. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Stay at 2100. Why we dropped, I don't know. We're going to recover that right now. Alright, and we're through. Coming down to 1200, flaps 10. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And left turn. 017 is the intended heading. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 637 Mike is on a 5-mile final runway 2. We'll be breaking that off and joining left traffic for runway 20, Bremerton. Alright, down we come. Let's go ahead and lower that speed. I want that speed down at 90 knots. Descending down to 1200. Visual descent point for an LNAV is 2.1. That's a good time for us to look up. We'll look up at 2 miles out, and we'll make sure we keep that MDA of 1200. Circling minimums is 1160. We'll have 1200 as a buffer. It's an MDA, so we're going to keep that all the way until we either are in a position to land,
2 mile final runway 02,
and runway in sight, or we decide we're going to fly a mist, and we fly the mist. Now what I should have briefed is which way we're going to fly the mist. In any case except before the circle, if we are in the circle, we will turn left to do the mist. If we have to break it off before the circle, we will turn right, as indicated in the in the published mist. There's 1200. Don't go below 1200. Don't go below 1200. Don't go below 1200. 2 mile final. Heads up. Runway in sight. Nope. There's 1160. Those are the actual minimums. Stay above those minimums. And don't slip the other way. Alright, we're going to start our circle now. We're at 1 mile. Don't slip. Permanent traffic 6378 Mike is 1 south of the fields, entering left downwind, runway 20. We'll do a touch and go and depart to the south, Bremerton. Alright, there we go. And I do a half mile displacement, half-mile lateral displacement from the runway when I'm doing a circling approach. We always want to keep the runway in sight. Always want to keep the runway in sight. Yep, runway's in sight. We're looking really good. And there's about a half mile. So we're going to make that turn. We're in the downwind. We're actually below our minimums. Shouldn't have done that. Below our minimums. Shouldn't have done that. There we go. And set the heading bug. For 20. Keep that runway in sight. Keep that runway in sight. Let's bring the speed back. Let's bring the speed back. Let's bring the speed back. Okay, we have minimum satisfied. Runway environment is in sight. We're in continuous position to land, starting our descent. So we're bringing that to 1500.
500.
Turn and a half on the trim wheel. Down we come.
500.
Okay, let's go ahead and make base to final. Permanent traffic, Skyhawk 6378 Mike's turn to left base to final, runway 20. Touch and go, departing to the south, Bremerton. Okay, 90 degrees. Keep turning. Don't stop the turn. The runway's there. Don't be scared. It's there. You know it's there. Flaps 2. Okay, overshot a little bit. We don't have to get crazy. We have 6,000 feet to work with. Okay, flaps 30. Okay, flaps up. Full power. Takeoff power set. 55. Is that clapping again? And up, fly runway heading. Pitch for 10, then pitch for 74. Okay, suspend. Flight plan. 1,200 feet. Direct ZOLGI. Climb for 4,000. How do I know this? Because I briefed the approach. Alright, keep it coming. And 1200, we're above AGL, and I'll go ahead and hit nav mode and IAS mode, and autopilot is on, and magically our PFD has come back. FMS1, menu, manual, set to auto, enter, menu. Alright, range out a bit, turn off reversionary mode, our map is back. And we are on the mist, headed for ZOLGI. ZOLGI. Alright, let's go ahead and hit COM1 switch. 1204. Tell Seattle departure what we're doing. Seattle departure, Skyhawk 6378 Mike, 1900 feet, climbing 4,000 on the published mist from Bremerton.
Number 6378 Mike, Seattle departure, IDEN.
IDEN, 6378 Mike.
November 78 Mike, radar contact 25 miles northwest of the McCord tack-in, say intentions.
6378 Mike would like to do a lap in the hold at ZOLGI, and then we'll be picking up the ILS 14 right for Boeing Field.
Number 6378 Mike, roger, expect no delay, advising you'd like to go to Boeing.
Thank you, will advise, 6378 Mike. Alright, so it's very kind to them. They're very understanding when I have to fly lots of approaches for training purposes. They don't seem to have any trouble with me. I like that. They're all professional type folks over there. So on our climb out, let's go ahead and do our climb check real quick. Whoa. What's going on with my throttle there? Why was I pulling that back, huh? Let's say Enroute climb, airspeed 70 to 85. Yep, we're good. Throttle full, mixture rich and as required. We're coming through 3,000, so we'll lean out a little bit, and we'll finish the lean when we're at 4,000 and established. We have climb checks complete. 11.7 to go to ZOLGI. We make sure we did our cram, climb, clean, click, and comms. Yep, we're in clean configuration. Throttles are full. Climbing for 4,000. We've clicked, we got the CDIs set, magenta needles to ZOLGI where we'll do the hold, and comms, we're on with departure. Whew. Well, that is the last I want to see of Bremerton today, I'll tell you that. 12 o'clock, lunchtime coming soon, so we'll go ahead and pick up the, you know what, we're going to do, we did the ILS in, we'll do the Localizer inbound, for KBFI. Maybe? Is that what we want to do? Let's take a look at those procedures. Localizer for 14 right. Ooh, interesting. So Localizer is 600 and 4,000 RVR, and we'd fly step downs. We'd fly 2,200, then 1,600, then 1080 at SOT, and then down to minimums of 600. There's a visual descent point at 3.4 from BFI. Okay, there's 4,000, so we're speeding up, so we're going to go ahead and pull pitch, power, and trim. Alright, pitch into hold at 4,000. And power, 2,400. And trimming out so that we stay at 4,000. Autopilot's got trim. We're looking really good there. 9.8 to ZOLGI. We'll go ahead and finish this briefing here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and take care of the engine. Engine lean, and we'll lean it out a little bit more. There you go. Fuel flow 8.1, nice and lean. All right. Well, let's do a real quick. Let's do a real quick look here. I'm going to turn flight plan mode off. We're going to range out just a little bit, and we'll hit map op, terrain topo, next rad, terrain off, and you can just take a look at next rad, the radar there. KBFI was going to be our destination. Really, the weather hasn't hit them yet, so we're going to be heading in the right direction, that's for sure. But as you can see, the weather's really starting to kind of take over everything, just like they said it would. So we're doing good here. We'll do a lap in the hole. We're 8.4 from ZOLGI. Let me zoom in on the range here so you can see what we're going to do. We're We're going to enter a teardrop hold, kind of like we were doing for the runway 02. We're just going to go in like this, right turn ZOLGI, and then do one lap, and then we're inbound ZOLGI the other way. Inbound ZOLGI the other way. We'll just call that we're established in the hold at ZOLGI. Since we've already done a hold and loop procedure turn, I don't feel like we have to do an entire lap. So I'll basically say we'll do like this. Once I cross ZOLGI, or once I'm inbound like this, I'll say established on the in the hold at ZOLGI. They'll ask for intentions. We'll let them know we actually want the localizer runway 14, right? And we can let them know the ILS. We can let them know the ILS because it's the same plate. Maybe they'd like to know it's the localizer. I don't know. I might look into that and see what the word on the street is. Wow, look at this. 102 knot ground speed, but 122 indicated with 127 TAS. OAT is -1 and we have precipitation again, so let's watch for any icing. So far negative icing. But wow. Oh yeah, we're coming into the yellow again, that's why. That's nasty. Very nasty. Hey, Tackle 2-3, nice to see you. Tablet holder for the Alpha. Yes, indeed. This is a creation I got off Etsy. It's a sort of a claw-type mount. It's 3D printed. It's very good. It holds it nice and steady. And then it's got this sort of flat plastic surface. And then I attach 2 Wix gear magnets that'll just go like that, and it's nice magnetic mounting. So pretty happy with it. Alright, so we're going a little fast still here. We're 4.7 from ZOLGI. I'll go ahead and slow down to 90 knots. Fly the hold at ZOLGI. We'll just do the teardrop entry, and then once we're established inbound, I'll go ahead and call for Boeing Field, and we'll just call for, excuse me, we'll just call for the localizer runway 14, right? Fly that step down patterns, and then that'll give us the precision approach, which we did at Bremerton 20, a non-precision approach, which we did at Bremerton, going the other way. A third type of approach, so we'll use the loc approach, that's approach type number 3. One of them was circling, one of them was partial panel, and we did a hold. So those are the procedures that are necessary here, and so I'm glad for that. I guess I could have held on green needles. That would have been sort of an additional challenge that I actually didn't end up doing. My bad. But overall, I'd say it's been pretty comprehensive so far. So we'll go ahead and just do this hold at ZOLGI, and then we'll call for Boeing Field. You can see the ground speed's pretty low, 80 knots, even though we're over 90 knots indicated airspeed and TAS up here. Just a lot of headwind, 27 knot headwind here, so it'll be better when we head back to Boeing Field, that's for sure. So why don't we go ahead and talk about Boeing Field real quick. Let's talk about the actual approach, and then we'll know what we're doing before we plug it in. So here's the ILS loc runway 14 Boeing Field. So we're going to do the loc this time. So localizer is going to be 640, so 600 MSL, and then 4,000 RVR, which is I think 2/3 of a mile. Anyway, typically they're either going to bring you in north of Isogi, or they're going to put you somewhere between Isogi and Toge, and they'll vector you in. If they give us vectors, we don't have to do the course reversal. If we're doing localizer, it's between 6,000 and 2,200. Then we once we cross Isogi coming in, we're going to descend to 1,600 to Toge, and then we're not going to intercept the glide slope. Not going to intercept the glide slope, right? Instead, we're going to fly step-down fixes to 1080 at SOT, and then from there can fly down to our minimum.
Yeah, come on, Tower, Skyhawk 2050 Echo is 10 to the southeast. Request
let's go ahead
approach,
and get weather 127.
2050 Echo Yakima Tower, make straight in runway 27, clear to land.
Make straight in runway 27, clear to land. Skyhawk 2050 Echo, thank you.
KBFI.
Ground number 8748, IFR 2 ready.
Give it a little bit more RPM. We need to see some more speed here. We're a little bit slow. All right, let's go ahead and get some weather.
Number 8748, Medford ground, clear to the Reading Airport, Jackson 1 departure to the Rogue Valley VOR, direct to Fort Jones, direct. Visibility 1. Maintain the 11,000, 6X 1 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.3, squawk 3351.
2.3, altimeter 2976. Arriving and departing runways 14 left, 14 right.
2 ready, ready. For one departure.
Oh my God! It had to be someone doing a read back.
Rogue Valley, and then Fort Jones.
Okay, so we're in the hold now.
7,000, expect 17,000, 124.3, squawk 3351, number 874.
Okay, we're in the hold.
Number 874, confirm it's the Jackson 1
Gonna be
departure,
right.
Rogue Valley VOR.
Jackson 1 departure.
Okay,
then
91
Rogue
is
VOR,
good. 4,000. I think it's information
read back,
Victor. Let me go ahead and pull that weather one more time.
Few clouds at 10,000. Few clouds at 12,000. Temperature 9 or. Dew point 3. Altimeter 2976. Arriving and departing runways 14 left, 14 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches between Boeing Field and Seattle International. Expect aircraft above you on final. Read backhaul runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Victor.
Victor, information Victor. Okay, good. And COM 1 will set to 1206, which is going to be tower at Boeing. We know we're going to need that later. And we're monitoring ground, and we're doing good here. We're flying a little fast, so let's bring that RPM down. Probably gotten another gust real quick. Let's see what's going on around us here. OAT -1, checking for icing, negative icing. Alright, RPM's 2060, fuel flow pressure temperature, EGT vac are good, fuel quantity is still good. Let's see how much we've
Goes 4263,
burned
contact
here.
number center
Back.
133.67.
Engine system 7.7, okay, 41.6 remaining, plenty of fuel, 4 hours left. 3 hours with 3 hours of operation with a 1 hour buffer. Okay, we're making that right turn around now. This is just that kind of day out there, I guess. Alright, and back we come. Alright, you can see our speed's dropping down now, so we'll go ahead and push our RPMs a little bit, try to catch that. Let's fly this at 90 knots. There we go. Nice stable 90 knots. And once we're on the inbound heading, looks like 053, we'll let them know. Seattle departure, Skyhawk 6378, Mike, 4,000 feet established in the hold at ZOLGI. We've got the weather and information Victor at Boeing Field. I'd like to request the Localizer runway 14 right into Boeing Field.
Number 6378, Mike, cleared to Boeing Airport, flying 020 vectors for the Localizer 14 right approach. The Boeing altimeter is 2976, maintain 4,000.
Cleared to the Boeing Field Airport via turn 020, vectors for the Localizer. Thanks for 9.76 and maintain 4,000, 6378 Mike. Cleared for the Localizer 14 right. Am I cleared for the Localizer 14 right? Apologies.
Negative, you're not cleared for the approach. You can expect a vector to the Localizer. If you want the full approach, you can let me know though.
We're okay with expecting vector to the localizer. Understood. We are not cleared for the approach. Turn heading at 020. Expect vectors for the localizer. 6378 Mike.
78 Mike, just to cut down on frequency time for you and me in the future, you don't ever need to read back the reasons for a vector, just the actual instructions.
Roger that. 6378 Mike.
That's for ground number 8748.
Alright, let's go ahead and set the heading bug.
Number 8748, that's for ground runway 14, taxi via Bravo Alpha.
Heading mode is active.
Bravo Alpha, number 87.
We'll make that turn. And as we make the turn, alright, just make sure we can go ahead and speed up. We'll go to our
4263,
cruising speed of 2,400 RPM, or cruising RPMs, 2,400. And we'll go ahead and switch up our FMS really quick. So let's go FMS flight plan and menu, and we'll do how I like to do it. We'll do invert flight plan. Now it's KPWT to KBFI, cleared KBFI, and then I'm going to hit procedures, select approach, ILS 14 right. We can assume ZOLGI, and we're going to use the localizer minimums of 600. Okay, there we go. We're loaded. Range out so we can see it. Yep, sure enough. And we're 020 and 4,000.
2050 Echo. For future reference, don't exit onto the runway unless specifically instructed to by ATC. Taxi to parking via Alpha, remain this frequency.
Oh.
Taxi parking Alpha, remain this frequency, 50 Echo.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. We're going a little fast, so we'll bring that RPM down. 2,400 is what we're looking for there. Let's make sure our flight plan's set. And we heard a different barrow. We heard 7.6, so we're going to go ahead and change that to 2976. Okay, barrows are set. Comms are set. We got tower there. We're still monitoring ground, and we're on with departure. Comms are set. Let's go ahead and do our plates.
Tower, 50 Echo.
Cross 4263, Denver Center, cross Truel at 17000.
So we're flying 020. We're going to expect vectors. So vectors are fine. We'll probably be given the full approach on the Checkride.
Yakima Tower, Skyhawk 50 Echo. We'd like west ramp parking.
50 Echo, roger.
We're going to expect to intercept the localizer. And then at 1600, then 1080, and then down to 600. If we have to go missed, it's going to be kind of nasty. We climb out on the localizer course to Oseze right there, and that's 1500 or under to Oseze. And then continue to climb out to 206 to 9 miles DME, and then right turn. To pick up the 116, the R168 on the Seattle VOR to CDUG and hold at CDUG 5,000 feet. So it's staying low, then it's going high, and it's all because of Seattle Tacoma traffic. So it's a little bit of a mess, but fortunately we don't do many mists at Boeing Field. So let's go ahead, take a second, and stretch our legs a little bit. Enjoy being up here and flying for a minute. Get that RPM up to 2,400. We're doing a ground speed of 138, though. We're moving pretty good. Boeing Field is 21.8. we'll probably be given an, well, maybe. We're getting a crosswind of 13, so it's going to be pushing us this way, so we'll probably
tower,
be,
wind calm, runway 14.
if we go directly like this,
Takeoff 14 and bridge,
we'll be south of Icing, north of Togay, which is probably right where they want to be. We'll probably be pushed a little bit. We'll probably end up north of Icing unless they change the vector on us any, which they might do. And they'll probably also allow us to descend a little bit here before we get too close, because the full approach, you're able to hold in that loop procedure turn all the way down to 2200. So at some point you can probably go down to 3000. I would expect they'd give us that at some point. Well, while we're thinking about it, let's do our before landing checks. Florida door, both fuel selectors in, mixture is lean, but we're going to enrich as we come down. Flaps are up, lights are set for landing. Master and standby are armed, keys are in both. Alright, we got plenty of fuel still, 40 gallons. Positive amps and battery volts look good. Seat belts are fastened. Let's make sure we're all set here before landing check. Seats, seat belts, yep, fuel selector, mixture, autopilot, and lights required. I'm going to go ahead and do a full, I'll go ahead and keep the autopilot on. You know what, that's not true. I'll go ahead and hand fly this. So once we get on the final approach course, I'll go ahead and hand fly this localizer approach all the way down. I'll just hand fly it myself. We'll kill the autopilot as soon as we're established on the localizer course.
We're 8740, contact departure.
Alright, so plates, identify, IBFI, that's exactly right. 110.9, that's the same on the plates, that's good. CDIs are going to be green needles. I'll go ahead and set green needles now. There you go, that's perfect.
Cascade departure number 8748, passing 3000, Jackson, departure.
8748, Cascade departure, rate of contact.
I'll go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to activate a direct to Icing just to change the magenta line. That's kind of what we're doing. Not really, but we're flying heading mode. But that'll allow us to sequence a little bit. Okay, that's set. And I can activate the Icing to Togay if that's what we're going to be vectored onto. Or if we get vectored north of Icing, I'll do vectors to final mode. Okay, but we're on green needles and we're all set. We've already talked about the autopilot. We know this is a hand fly all the way down. Once we're on the final approach course, we're established on the localizer. After all of that, that's Bremerton. Off our left. We're at Bremerton again. Just can't get rid of this darn airport. Lucky to have a field so close that lets us do all that instrument practice. And I've got myself a call here at in 30 minutes. So here's hoping. Yeah, we'll be fine. But so far, it's been pretty good. I haven't been seeing any alerts on drop frames or anything like that. It's pretty good. I've been pretty happy with it all.
November 8748, contact Seattle Center 121.4.
121.4,
Yeah, we're probably going to get an instruction here in a minute. Either change heading or descend.
November 8748, Seattle Center, Clement, maintain 17,000.
There's still a little bit of weather ahead of us here. You can see rain coming down, some rainbows, things like that. But east of that should be okay. We're going to break into kind of a clear spot that looks like this on the east side of Puget Sound, where Seattle is at. Very pretty, though. You got the Bremerton Naval Yard coming up here, I think. Let's see. Actually, no, I already passed that. We're flying over there right now. I think we got towns like Polsbo, Silverdale's up there, Apex Airfield. Very pleasant. I'm going to go ahead and set 11680 on nav2. That's for Seattle VOR, just in case we need it for the missed approach. That'll be important to have. Otherwise, doing pretty good. Like I said, we'll hand fly this thing when we're actually on the localizing course. Isogi is now 9 miles. Let's make sure we've done everything we need to do. We've done our before landing checks. Yes, we haven't descended yet, so we'll just make sure that we push that mixture as we descend through. We've talked through the plate. We've identified the fix. We know our CDIs are green. We know when we're going to hand fly it. And the next thing we want to make sure is we get our minimum set, because sometimes our minimums get blown away here. Nope, minimum's Barrow 600. That's correct. Put the flight plan up. You always want something in the box. Alright, 8 miles to Isogi. And we're not flying the full approach. He was asking if we wanted it, so he's just going to give us vectors, which is great. That's going to save us time. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. We don't need nearly as much range as all that. There you go, 5 nautical miles. And so T is 4.9 BFI. Funny. I don't think so T is in the flight. It's not. It is not in there. It's Toge.
Number 6378, Mike, turn right heading 040, descend and maintain 2000.
Turn right heading 040, descend and maintain 2000. 6378, Mike.
Number 874, verify climbing 17000. Thank you.
And descend. RPM's back to 2100, cruise descent. And if we go through 3000, we'll go mixture full rich. I'll go ahead and do that now, just don't have to think about it. There you go. Mixture full rich, down we come. And we're heading 040. They'll give us probably another turn to the right to intercept the localizer here in a minute. 4.3 miles from Isogi. Probably want to bring our speed down a little bit more than that, so we'll bring it down to about 1800. Watch that airspeed bleed off. We're going to run this at 90 knots unless we're told maximum forward speed for sequencing. Sometimes that'll happen around here too. There you go. And we're...
Number 6378, Mike is 3 miles from Isogi, turn right heading 110, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer, clear localizer, runway 14 right approach.
Turn right heading 110, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer, clear the localizer 14 right approach into Boeing Field, 6378 Mike. 110, right turn, and descending 2000. And that's going to be vectors to final, so that's fantastic. I'll go ahead Go ahead and go to FMS1 and we'll hit menu and menu, activate leg, enter. Hit cancel. We're going to go ahead and clear the hold. Yes. And then menu. No. Stop that. Flight plan. TOGA. Menu. Activate. OK. There you go. That's the leg we're looking for. Very nice. Alright, and there you go. It's all set. Nav mode is active. Right turn established on the localizer. And we're at 2,000. And we are past ZOLGI, so we can now come down to 1,600. Yes, minus 600. And TOGA is the final approach fix, so we're not going to put our flaps out yet. And I'll go ahead and manually hand fly this. I said that I would, so I will.
November 6378 Mike, contact Boeing Tower 120.6.
Contact Boeing Tower 120.6, 6378 Mike. Boeing Tower, Skyhawk 6378 Mike, 1,600 feet on the localizer, one-way run for right.
November 6378 Mike, Boeing Tower, runway 148, clear to land, 11505.
Clear to land, 14 right, 6378 Mike.
Skywest 4263, contact Aspen approach 123.8.
TOGA, 3.7 miles. And a little bit left for lineup. There's 1,600. Stay there. Try to be a good citizen.
At approach, Cadet Skywest 4263 out of flight level 180, descended across Trula 17,000 with information Yankee.
Skywest 4263, Aspen approach, fly present heading, descend maintain
3 miles to the
13,000.
final approach fix.
Aspen altimeter 3003, plan the visual approach runway 15.
Okay, pre-final approach
Visual
fix checks to the
15,
3Ms,
13,000,
minimums are 600. Missed approach point is going to be the runway, but we'll call it a
17,000, reduce to 180 knots, then continue descent down to 13,000.
Alright,
follow the flight director.
We'll level off at 17,000, and say again the speed, please.
Maintain 180 knots, then descend to maintain 13,000.
Alright, speed 180 knots, send 13,000 afterwards for Skywest 4263.
Okay, 139, we'll set that heading bug, that's right where we want to be. And we're definitely high, so we want to get down to 1,600 to cross the step down fix, or the final approach fix. Then the next step down is going to be SOT, which is 4.9 from the localizer, 4.9 from IBFI. And we're flying this a little fast. One mile to the final approach fix. Seattle. Home of Frazier. Alright, there's Togay. Next is going to be 1080. I'll go ahead and set that for 1100. Down to 1100. And we want to be there. So it's a 4.9 from IBFI, and the runway is 1.7 from IBFI, so it's actually 3.2 from the runway is where we want to cross 1080. So that's half a mile away. And we need left for lineup, seriously. There's 1100. We need to hold 1100. Need to hold 1100. Until we cross 3.2. Then we can come down to 600. There's 3.2. Come down to 600. Cross SOT. Alright, CDI is back where it needs to be.
3 mile final runway 14 right.
Two and a half mile final. Right for lineup. Come down to 600. Visual descent points at 1.7 from the runway. We're about to hit that. I know I'm just janking all over the place here. I'll go ahead and pop my head up, and I'll need to be left for lineup. I'll pop my head up at 1.7. That'll be the visual descent point. 100 feet to go.
Sky 4263, turn right heading 140.
Right turn 140, 4263.
Alright, there it is. Very nice.
500.
Not bad on actually keeping the profile in sight. Pull a lot of extra AOA just to keep this lift profile. You can see that. I mean, it's just dipping below the horizon here. I should probably give it a little more throttle. I can point my nose a little bit. That's not a bad thing to do. Okay, 68.
Sky 4263, turn
that
5
RPM
degrees
back
right, fuel
to
12 o'clock, 17 miles.
1500.
Field size, Sky 4263.
Sky 4263, clear visual approach runway 15.
Clear for the Viz 15, Skywest 4263.
Number 8748, contact Oakland Center 132.2.
And we're over the threshold. We'll go ahead and cut the power to idle. And coming off to A4. Would you stop all that clapping?
Number 8748, Oakland Center, reading altimeter 3005. Correct Savo, cross Savo at or above 9,000. Clear to RNAV runway 16 approach into Reading.
Approaching runway 14 left, 32 right.
November 8748, cross Savo at or above 9,000. November 6378 Mike, cross runway 14 left at Alpha 4, taxi to parking via Alpha, monitor ground.
Cross 14 left at Alpha 4, taxi to parking, monitor ground, 6378 Mike.
Skywest 4263, contact Aspen Tower.
All right, let's cross now.
Alright, pushing tower 1895, Skywest 4263.
Land and strobes off.
Approaching
and
runway
flaps
14
are
left.
up. Trim is
3
set
to
for
right.
takeoff.
Entered runway 14 left. 3.
Visual 15.
Skywest 4263, Aspen Tower, wind calm, runway 15, clear to land.
That's good news. 15, clear to land, Skywest 4263.
And we'll monitor ground, 1219, taxi to parking. And we'll go ahead and hit transponder and squawk VFR back. Because it's a towered airport, they already closed our flight plan. So we're good. And we'll lean it out a little bit. There you go. After landing checks, flaps, mixture lights, and trim. Done. And we'll put it just north of A2. That's our flight. That's our flight school. No. Not yet. So there's A2, go north of A2. We are speed demoning a little bit on the taxi here. Let's slow it on down. Let's take first line and pull it in. Oh, huge car crash. All right, very good, very good. Oof. 2 hours of flying. And I am sore. I'm just gonna say that. It's a lot to fly this thing, and even if you're just using the autopilot, but 2 hours is a lot. I got a lot done. I think we sort of can check off all the things that were required in the check ride. So it's going to be departure procedures, approach procedures. It's going to be 3 different types of approaches. One has to be precision, one circling, one has to be partial panel, use of autopilot, autopilot failure mode. There has to be a hold, intercepting, and tracking, navigation equipment, which we did. We've done both magenta and green needle operations, and of course stay in contact with ATC. There'll be more, and there'll be tons of surprises, but I'm excited for whatever they bring me next, and just glad to be out and flying with you. So thanks for flying with me today, and I need some lunch. See you later.